Hello, Facebook. We are live. This is the Gray Area, and this is your boy Ray E.
This is your boy P. Wills. What's happening?
And this is Ebony.
Ebony in the building, y'all. Ebony, you always get the exclusive shirts. Please explain that to me. Green, you got the Green Bay popping.
This is the, what do they call it? I was about to say kosher. Couture.
I just want to know why.
Couture line, courtesy of Pat.
Pat
right
always
here.
seems to give you the exclusive shirts,
Yes.
and I don't get them.
First lady, I mean,
Oh my
the
God.
queen.
There it is.
Like Nicki
Minister
Minaj
got
said,
so many shirts.
except I ain't Nicki Minaj.
I have 10 shirts, and I wear them repeatedly, and they are like
You were the same
faded
one.
right
You
now.
got 10 and you were the same one.
I didn't revert it to wearing my own shirts now. Thank y'all for tuning in. We have some very special guests here today. The MECAP, the whole MECAP team is here. MECAP music team is here. And y'all might, he looking kind of shy back here, but y'all see an all-time veteran that been on here a couple of times back there with the brown hat on. Skip is in the building.
Yeah.
But I want to let Uncle Jams introduce the artist that he. Wait a minute, Uncle James Johnson. Okay, he's from Indianapolis, Indiana. He was born on New Year's Eve. He's a rock, jazz, fusion, and hip hop as an artist manager, music producer, songwriter, publisher, entertainment consultant. Well, you know, which includes working with Babyface, Mariah Carey, the group Next, After 7. You just got a lot of history. You're a rock star in the industry.
Yes, he is.
You know, and like I was telling them before you came in here, they're surrounded with a really, really good dude because there's not a lot of people who have information on that. And I'll let Uncle James introduce his artist and tell.
Area Media Show. First thing I want to do is I want to give a shout out to my artists that are not here. This is pretty much the Indianapolis in Davenport, Iowa, to Sassay and Fort Myers, Florida. Always gets difficult when you forget somebody, and I try not to.
Sassay?
Sassay. Sassay. Yes, she's the first lady of MECAP. She's down in Fort Myers, Florida. I think I named everybody. Oh, I forgot about with her for the brand new hot, smoking, sizzling single called Bow Chicka Wow Wow.
DJ
That's
Prodigy.
in a Manje out of St. Louis, Missouri.
DJ Prodigy.
Yeah, thank you. I have to count on Skip. He's an old head over here. He helps me, and he's a young person in the old head mind frame. We have DJ Prodigy out in Los Angeles. We have Jeremy Gregory out in Los Angeles. Then we have my managerial clients that are not MECAP label people, but the MECAP management branch deals with them. That's Rodney Stepp, June Walker, Steve Cooper. We just got a lot of things going on. But here in the house with us, we have our, also must shout out my production partners, the MECAP board of directors, Rob Hitz, also known as D Hitz, Rob Fulton out in Phoenix, Arizona, DJ Guy Westmoreland, and who's just been with me from Indianapolis. He's here.
Ooh, alumni.
My longest running artist, superhero identity, he's 12. My second veteran at this point in time, he's back there chomping on some gum, which is a no-no.
Get him up.
I gotta get him, you don't do gum, and it can, he can do videos, he can do photos. He just can't do choreography too well, but he also helps me with, he's lately been doing a lot of R&B production, helping me out in the studio. He's so versatile, nobody would ever know that he's really a hip-hop rapper guy. And he's just like this cat that's doing these festivals, and he's really like, he's one of a kind. Trust me, they broke the mold after him. You wouldn't want another one like him, believe me, people. I call him Skype, but his real name is Skip. S-K-Y-P-P. Skip. Stand up so the people can see you. Take a bow.
What's happening?
After Skip, who else did I bring on board here? After Skip, oh my God. He always likes to remind people how you should spell his name, because he has a last name that can be spelled two ways.
Okay.
It can be spelled with a C or with a K. So when he introduces himself on stage, my name is Damon Carl with a K. That's with a K. Damon Carl with a K. He sings and he plays acoustic guitar. By the way, I forgot to tell you that 12 is a rapper. Damon Carl sings R&B and pop, and he's had the privilege of meeting Babyface and opening a show for him. After Damon Carl, the next person we dealt with is the guy who actually got his start as a feature on 12's brand new record. And 12 said, you know, Unc, the guy that's featuring on my record, he wants to be down with MECAP. And he said he doesn't know how you feel about having a white boy on the label. And I was like, my favorite artist is Jeff Beck, and he's a white boy, so I don't have a problem with that. And everybody's telling me how dope he is when they hear him come spitting on your record. So tell him, yeah, give me a call. So he called me with the shaking, quivering voice. Yeah, 12 told me I should give you a call. I said, yes, Dave, you're down, okay? You're deaf. So Dave Deaf, take a bow to the people. He's got a brand new the Michael Jackson spirit just came in the room. Dave has got a hot, sizzling new single called Human Race is coming out next month. Yes. Very hot. Then after Dave Deaf, then there was a guy that I saw. I saw him on a video clip with a former partner of his, and they were like doing some old school East Coast hip hop kind of fun thing, except had a few little words in it I didn't like, but the vibe was good. And I said, I don't think I'd mind working with him if he'd be willing to clean it up a little bit. So then I had an independent music festival in November of last year, so I invited them, he was in a duo then, to be on the thing. And after that, I don't know why I invited them to be on the thing, because then he became a solo artist, and there probably wasn't a day that went by for 3 months that he didn't call me. What can I do to be down with MECAP? What can I do to be down with MECAP? What can I do to be down? I talked to Skip, and I talked to this one, and I talked to that one, and are you willing to wash your mouth out with soap? Yes, I'm willing to do whatever. I want to be down with MECAP. So guess what? He said, I'm willing to spit the facts to you, because facts it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Busby, facts it is. He's bi-city, not bipolar, but bi-city. He was born in Indianapolis, but raised in St. Louis, and he goes back and forth. So he hates on our city, even though he's raised here, but he loves St. Louis, but now he lives here. So he's a St. Nappian. Facts it is.
What are these nicknames?
And then after Facts it is, he has a hot single out called That's Facts, believe it or not. I mean, he keeps everything around the facts. And he's shooting the music video to that on Sunday. And he even asked me would I be in the video. He knows that I don't do videos, but he asked me so respectfully in the little scene that he wants me to do. I guess I'll oblige. And then after that, there's an old saying that says, blondes have more fun.
Hey, come on.
There was this guy that hit me up, and he said, I think after I've tried a few things in music, and they haven't really gone for me the way I want them to go, but I'm looking at the movement that you've got going with Skip and some other people, and I want to know if it's possible I can be down with MECAP. And I looked at his pictures, and I was like, can we really have Cisco on our label? Then I had a meeting with he and a person that was an investor in him, who's a sweetheart. I love her to death. And his vibe is really good, and he comes from a good family. So I decided, okay, we'll give a blonde a chance. A bleach blonde at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, and man, let me tell you, on the serious side, his single is lit, it's fire, it's smoking, it's all that in a bag of chips with the dill pickle on the side. And also, he has a feature on vocal from Damon Carl on his single. And it is smoking hot. It's called Misunderstood. And it's going to be coming out in September as well, and he's going to be doing a music video. So we were kind of, we had Sassé, who's the first lady of MECAP, and then we recently hooked up and got Nemanje from St. Louis. So that guy that, I call Skype, who's really Skip, he said, Unc, there's a girl that I went to school with at Warren Central, and she's really got a nice voice, and I think she needs to really do something with it. So I'm going to talk to her and see if she's really willing to do some music, because I think the world needs to hear her. And I'm like, Normally Skip doesn't do me wrong when he has suggestions and ideas. So then he said, her name's Kelsey, and there's a clip of her singing an Etta James song.
All right.
And I said, she's singing an Etta James song and not Britney Spears or Taylor Swift. He said, no, that's not the kind of people she likes. She likes like Etta James and Jill Scott and Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill and those kind of people. I said, oh, really? So he put me in touch with her. I talked to her. I felt the vibe on the phone. And when I started asking her about the people she liked, she went on me. And we took Kelsey out in September. It's called
I Just Can't.
I Just Can't. You know that expression, everybody just can't, you know, and it's hot. It's got Brian Thompson, who's a hot saxophone player from Indianapolis, and it's got the legendary veteran Reggie Griffin on guitar, and Skip helped produce it, and it is smoking hot.
I'm singing the
Hey,
film.
hey, you have a nice
Everybody
birthday,
get like
man.
the song.
Absolutely.
And all of
You
y'all
already know, man. You
do
already know.
something different
Yeah,
than
man.
Uncle Jam thing.
Somebody phone, man.
And one
Turn that
thing
volume down, bruh.
is that Damon,
That's Damon.
is that Carl over here?
With the K.
With the K.
Music in here street without having someone who's only brought you on one who's just on the road helping me in it. That was back in the day, and that's what I want to talk to you about.
An artist needs to recognize the lane that they need to stay in. Being an artist. Too many artists try to be too many things and then some. And you need to learn how to be a good artist first. And being an artist is a way in which you carry yourself so that people will recognize when you walk in a room that you're different than Jane Doe or John Doe. And if you don't understand that, then you're never going to be successful in this game. Some artists run their mouths too much. They don't have like Babyface has a song called For the Cool in You. Some of them need to learn how to be cool and lay back and be a little bit more chill so they have more of a mysterioso vibe about them. If you're better than other people, that just means that you're an artist. There's a difference between a guy that's a rapper. The demeanor of the two people would be totally different. But how would I know you're an artist if you act like a painter? Or too many of the people nowadays, I find, they see other people that they think have, quote, made it, and they want to emulate that kind of behavior.
Great point.
And you see, some of these people, like, I really don't want to get into naming names, but some of these people that are like the flavor of the week hot, especially in the rap world, because rap is what's happening. It's the biggest, it's the most media attention form of music. Not that it's selling that great, but it streams more than any other genre of music. So many of the young people I see today that want to be rappers, they want to emulate Migos or Travis Scott or NBA, Youngboy, Baller, Lil Yachty. They all have too many similar names, and they're all really whack and crappy. And I don't care if you have 100 million streams, that stuff is rigged. Those that were lucky enough to get a major label deal before the industry went sour, they don't understand that that stuff is rigged. Like the 1 billion streams that Aubrey Graham, also known as Drake, got, that wasn't paid for 1 billion streams. They bought time buys on everything. Like when I would click on stuff, Drake's face would pop up. And I've never purchased a Drake record, and I've never streamed him. I don't listen to him. When people talk about his music to me, when everybody's talking about this song, is it a Kiki or something like that? I was like, what is that? I don't know what that is, because I don't. The only song that I could name by him is the telephone line song. If you hit me on the line or whatever that song is, I don't even know the correct title. I like a rapper like a J. Cole, somebody that can really flow, and that's a real MC. And I'm really old school. I like Houdini, and
There we go.
I like EPMD,
Okay.
Eric Sermon. You know, I like Andre 3000. I like Tretch from Naughty by Nature. I like people that can really spit and flow. Drake is not the guy that spits and flows, in my opinion. But anyway, somebody said, well, look, Drake had 1 billion streams. Drake is a multimillionaire. Drake is signed to a multi-billionaire record label, so they can do those kind of Jimmy rigging things. As an independent artist, you cannot do that, so you cannot be like Drake. There's only one Drake. Like the late Aretha Franklin, there's only one Queen of Soul. You cannot be like somebody that's already made it. You have to be who you are and hope that it is like the good stuff that you throw against the wall. If it's good stuff, it'll stick. If it's bad stuff, it'll run on down the wall.
What do you think about the artist hurt?
Oh, she's fabulous.
No.
Man.
No, there's an artist.
The reason I
I
brought
know
up
what you're talking
the
about.
reason I brought up her
Hers.
is because how
She's
she
in her own
came
lane.
out, she didn't care about people seeing her face, her body,
Nothing.
none of
She was
that. She
mysterious,
basically
like you were
proved
saying.
that
Mhm.
I want you to listen to my music and love me for my music, and then you can get to know me later on. But what she said, I read an interview, and she was saying that why tell anybody about yourself when they can listen to the music and know everything about you?
Well, that's an adventurous approach,
Yeah.
but that approach is not necessarily a winning approach, because let's look at her streams. They're not too impressive. Excuse me. This industry is very much into visual nowadays, because you can't social media a sound. You have to social media a look. There are a lot of people, like if people remember when Tina Marie first came out, we didn't see her. People thought she was black. When Kelly Price first came out, we didn't see her, we heard her, because she couldn't fit through this door. And that's why we didn't see her. And that's just keeping it
Sorry
real.
about that.
But people went with the sound.
Yeah.
And they like Tina Marie's sound, they like Kelly Price's sound. But at some point, if you're going to go out and play on the road, people are going to see you. And so when they saw Kelly Price, they gasped. They're like, oh my God, she's a big girl. And then when they saw Tina Marie, oh my God, she's white. I never knew that. So look is very important, because let's be honest about Migos.
But if they heard their sound, good music.
Well, we have to decide what the
Good music
definition
is.
of
Good music is.
good is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, the most I know about her at this particular point is I've heard some feedback about her from the Chris Brown tour that she's been on, and then I heard some, I think that tour's over now, and then she did a duet with the fabulous Daniel Caesar, who's a Canadian artist, and they really were good on, I think it was a BET show or something, where they performed together, and they were really good. And she definitely has talent. There's no question about it. And she has a vibe about herself. So there definitely is an image thing going on with her. She doesn't come in there just looking like a bag lady. She
Right.
comes in there looking like, I'm the real thing. So she may not have wanted to show herself initially, but now we've seen her. And now we've also heard her. So she's all points on, because both of the elements are working together.
Right, and the reason I brought her up was because she created her own thing.
Mhm.
She was herself, and she didn't come out showing hips and all this other stuff. And I like old school R&B, you know what I mean? And to me, she was one of them people who brought that back, but not necessarily in a way that people would think, which is showing your body and doing all these other things. I think that she proved that you can get in this.
I maintain that some of the people, females and males, should go get on the pole. They should do what Melania Trump, or whatever her name is. They should do what she did, because some of them, by some of their social media images, they ready for the pole, baby. The stripper pole is just waiting for them and calling their name. And that has nothing to do with the music. I mean, like I saw some of the MTV awards last night, and I was very disappointed. I'm a person that likes to hear people really sing or really spit when they're rapping. All of that extra stuff, that vaudeville circus-like stuff. I mean, like Jennifer Lopez. I mean, really? She can't sing.
No.
Now, she should stick to dancing and probably acting. But as a singer, she can't sing. There's nothing she could ever do that would entice me to buy one of her records. But looking at her visually put on a show, like Janet Jackson, once again, it's a show, you know, and there's a place for show, but they shouldn't be in competition with people that really sing. You know, to me, that's another whole lane. You know, it's like Migos. They said they're the greatest group in the history of the world. They said they're greater than the Beatles. Really? When you can buy and manufacture streams and make yourself be number one, these people that have streams nowadays, they will never, ever be able to compete with people that were pre-SoundScan that had to sell physical records without all that jimmy rigging. Don't tell me about you have 1 billion streams. When Drake had 1 billion streams, his CD album was not even available as a physical. You couldn't even buy it. And when Best Buy stopped selling physical CDs on July the 1st, you can literally say at that point in time, the music industry that we once knew, it died.
Yeah, it's
Because
dead,
you can't go to a store and buy an album. Now the only way you can get one is if the major labels are willing to press up a few and you order it from Amazon. And Amazon is like, oh yes, everybody's not selling CDs, so we'll get what's left. Now Amazon is getting ready to really go heavy into the streaming business, and YouTube just hired as the new CEO the former head of Warner Brothers Music, and he's planning to make YouTube aggressively be in the streaming business. So there's going to be a dogfight between Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, and Tidal. Tidal is the low guy on the totem pole, but they do pay the highest streaming royalty rate.
Tidal all day.
But the problem with Tidal is they've been really behind in payments to the because Jay-Z is not going to put any more infusion of it.
And I wanna get the artists in on the conversation. What are your thoughts on the music today and artist development? And how important is it to what you're doing? And well, reflect on what you feel the industry is today, and then reflect on what artist development means to you. Start with you.
I mean, I definitely think that a lot of artists nowadays are just trying to just sell. I feel like they're not really actually looking at the real content that they're really putting out into the world. And I think that's a really dangerous thing. I mean, you know, you're putting out all of this energy that's not really benefiting anybody. For me personally, I kind of fall in that same line with her. You know, I want to come out more than what you just see, you know. So, but as far as like, you know, my personal development, I just want to be the best that I can be. I don't want to be so image focused. I understand that it's a part of it, but, and I like doing makeup, I like doing my hair and that kind of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't want that to be the main focus. I don't want that to be, I don't want the only expression in my music to be sexuality or my image, you know, there's so much more that I want to talk about, and there's so much more that I feel like we need to talk about as a society, as a world, so, artists have a very important job in that, and I think a lot of people need to take their role more seriously. That's what I would say.
Good. Divine Trail.
Well, I would like to touch off of what Kelsey said. Like, in all honesty, I feel like artists nowadays really don't take the music into consideration. It's really all about how they act. They always want to go on Instagram and do the craziest thing to get followers and get views or whatever, but they're not really focused on the music and what the next generation behind us is listening to. They don't take that consideration. They want to just say, I don't want to say because I used to do this, but they want to cuss in songs. Like, now that Uncle Jams has helped me realize, like, vulgar language in music is whack. It's whack. I feel like I can still make the type of music I want to make without saying vulgar language, because I know there's younger kids looking up to me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to put out the bad vibes in that.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Indeed.
Well, I think the industry has changed a lot since when I very first started to where we are right now, and at this point. I'm a piggyback off of what they said a little bit, but it's more or less a special little shiny star or something to make people look at you, and that's not how real music should be, you know what I mean? And that's what Uncle James was talking about. Real music is pure, you know what I mean? It's from the heart, and it ain't got nothing to do with, all the lollipop stuff. But besides that,
Was that a Slug and Lil Wayne song, Lollipop?
Hey, I'm not calling nobody names or nothing. But as far as artist development, Uncle's been in our corner the whole way on trying to get us in the right lane, telling us what we need to do, where we need to be, how we need to be, how we need to set up our image in certain predicaments. So, definitely the artist development is a big part of the music, and I thank God that we got Uncle Jams on our side to help us with that.
Absolutely. Dave Def.
I definitely think artist development is important. Uncle Jams puts emphasis on the things that he knows from his experience are important. Tries to stay, as they also said, I think that people put a overemphasis on art. I know how much music has affected me of many different genres. It made me want to be think people need to focus more on that.
Damon Carl.
Okay.
Also, the first person that I ever seen or heard with a cell phone that has a dog ringtone.
No shade.
Maya do
Yeah,
you know, as far as the reflection on the music industry, it's changing.
For sure.
And you have to be an artist that is able to accept and adapt to change.
Sure.
And, you know, as far as artist development, you know, Uncle Sid, he knows the ins and outs, and you know, he leads a team that is willing to do, you know, go back into the real music and put their hearts into it. And so that's what we need, more people like that.
Absolutely. And you as a musician, and I just want to get your perspective on this, on how you see yourself as an artist in today's time, you know, with social media and everything. I see people playing violins and playing different instruments and, you know, utilizing that. Are you going to do some of that stuff, or are doing some of that stuff? Because that seems to be the trend for artist development in some instances today, for people who are musicians and you know, may sing and mix it up. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, my thoughts are on that area is that, you know, we all have a different path. You know, necessarily don't have to go to you know, leading into the same genre or same kind of culture of everybody, all the musicians and the artists in the same lane, but we all have different people that we need to reach through the music and what we do, as far as, you know, playing guitar and music and stuff. So
For sure.
that's what I try to do.
Okay. I like that approach, man.
Say something?
I mean,
Let me see that.
I go last. Let me go last.
Let me see that mic, man.
I go last.
I personally feel like I feel like music has its phases, and no phase ever lasts forever. So I feel like we should let the people that's running hip hop or whatever have their time. And if it ain't your time, first of all, there's room for everybody. You know, so whatever kind of music you do, there's a lane for you. You got to tap into it. That's your responsibility. But, like, you know, let people have their shine. Let them do their thing. When their time is up, it'll be time for the next person. And if it ain't your time, just develop yourself for when it is your time. So I mean, I'm not knocking nobody's sound, hustle, none of that. You know, it's their time. Let them do their thing. And when it's my time, I'm gonna do my thing.
But what do you see artist development in this day and time? I'm sorry. What do you see artists? I really want your perspective on the artist development, because there's a lot of artists that are trying to attempt doing stuff that people are doing today, and all they have as a what do you call, as an example, are what they see on TV and all these other things that we say just let them do that. So I mean, what is the way to go today?
It's normal for you to want to be like the person who is successful. Like when I'm working in the school, I understand that the kids don't respect certain people's opinions because they respect money and they respect, if you ain't got that, they don't want to hear it. So I get why people want to follow that lead, because like
They already made it.
Yeah, it's successful. But me, as far as myself, I've never felt like I needed to do that. I feel like if I stand on my own 10 toes, I'll flourish, you know, eventually. You know, but some people ain't mentally strong enough to be like that. They want it quick, or, you know, whatever the case may be, why they want to do what they do. But it's very important for you to be original, because when you going with the trend, you're gonna die out with the trend. But if what you're doing is original, it could live forever, depending on, you know, how impressive it is or whatever the case may be. But it's always important to stay original and develop yourself into being your own, making your own image.
Right.
Because you don't ever want to piggyback off nobody else, because when they die, you die.
Right. For sure. Good answer. Facts it is. Facts it is, said I want to go last. I'm about to give y'all the real facts.
Nah, I only wanted to go last though, because when we talk about artist development, that's a touchy situation. And I say that though because I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
I've been that artist, you know what I'm saying, where I'm gonna say what I want to say, do what I want to do, move how I want to move. You don't like it, just like everybody else in the world go. When I met Jams though, I don't know.
Change.
You know what I'm saying? It was like I had a big problem with the whole cousin when I was a kid. My voice got taken away when I was younger. You know, I wanted to be able to voice everything.
Right.
I had to learn how to hold back. Learn that, you know what I'm saying, when I got around Skip, that you ain't got to cuss to be cool, bro. You can spit knowledge and
Right.
do it in a less vulgar way. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of kids in this world, and I'll touch off what they was talking about. I mess with youth.
my biggest dream. It's outside this music stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to have my own youth center.
That's
I
awesome.
want to be able
Dope.
to touch
Yeah.
inner cities. You know, Snoop Dogg got his own teams and
Yeah.
all these people, but I want to be able to do it in a whole nother way.
Mm.
They still promoting negativity.
Mhm.
Right, right.
Right.
So when you think about artist development, you think about the things that you post.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? All the way down to the things that you deal with, your family, like
Mhm.
all that stuff really does matter. All that stuff really does matter. Your image, you know, it's both ways. I've never been the type to, you know what I'm saying, new things change, none of that. You know, I was that type to wish I had every pair of J's at one point in time, but now that I'm older and I'm starting to understand, it's all more of a process. You know, you can grind and get those things, but are those things really what you want?
Right.
Good points.
Right. Good points. Very good points.
That's facts.
Real talk.
Facts it is.
Hey, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It's a difference between award and Grammys.
Mm.
Y'all tell me what y'all want.
There it is. Look, we backed away.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
no more.
I
I was gonna ask you, is Donald Trump spitting facts or?
don't talk politics.
He don't talk
That's
politics.
staying in his lane.
That's a good way
Staying
to
in
put.
his lane.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Sis got something to
That
say.
Yeah, I-
infomercial was paid for by facts. It is.
Yeah. So we talked about artist development. We got everybody's perspective. Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
it's
Go
okay.
ahead, Evan.
Well, I was just gonna ask if let's see if I remember my question now. I was gonna ask. Oh, when it comes to artist development, you were talking about personal life. Is the reason why a lot of artists get kind of caught up, especially at their prime? People can go back and dig stuff.
History.
You know, dig stuff either in history. I mean, of course, everybody has a history, but even like, I'm thinking about Nelly and his tour bus. I'm thinking about all these artists that go through stuff. Is that also a part of the artist development? Because some artists may be looking at the development of me being an artist versus the development of my character, basically.
I mean, well, your artistry is your character. You know, at the end of the day, this is something that everybody struggle with. I still struggle with, and I'm very open. You know, I'm facts it is. The world is gonna see me as facts it is. I'm no longer Christopher. You know what I'm saying, Chris, or anything else. And it's a very hard struggle. It's very hard, especially when you're so adapted. You got, you know what I'm saying, friends, and it's just something new.
Right.
But it's what you want to make out of it. You have to want to make something out of it. Everything is not going to always be peaches and cream when it comes to this art. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, just everything is not going to always be peaches and cream. When it comes down to it, you're not going to always see eye to eye with everybody. You're not going to always, you're going to lose people all the time when you make that one right choice. That's kind of the reason why I'm solo now. When you want to make that right choice and you want to do the right thing and you want to see the right vision, you'll be able to see who was there and who was not. You know, that's the difference between leaves and branches, right? You know what I'm saying? And roots. You gotta distinguish them. You got to. And that's really what it comes down to in artist development. It's not really about your image. You know, your image can be what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Cairo the artist said it. He liked it because his hair is nappy. You feel me? Like that's his route. That's his lane. That's his image. So is it really about image at that point, or is it more about your person of who, like what you want to be and what you're trying to bring into this world and what you want to preach?
Ebony, you made a very valid point when you spoke about the tour bus situation, because prior to that incident, mainstream America kind of looked at Cornell Nelly as being squeaky clean.
Right.
And then once that happened, the floodgates opened with other things that he'd done in other cities and even other countries. And this is one of the reasons that I try so hard to tell all of these people that when we go out of town, we don't bring strays in our hotel rooms. We don't do certain things because sometimes it becomes a setup.
Yeah.
And we recently were in St. Louis, and there were a couple of unpleasant situations, which I'm not going to address right now on the air, but I had to admonish them on our way back, because some people got a little too open and forgot that they were an artist and they wanted to be too friendly with strays, we'll say. We'll put it like that. You have to, and thank goodness Damon was there, because that's what he's there for, to help to diffuse situations. I have been on tours. I have seen it all happen. You need to do whatever you're going to do for your personal gratification by going for what you know in your city where you live. But when you go out of town, I will drop an artist like a hot potato if I found out that they had strays in their hotel room, or they were doing marijuana or other drugs and all that kind of stuff. We don't do that over here. That's not the lane that I wish to travel in. I want to leave legacy. I want to leave something that the future young people can latch onto. And orgies and smoking dope and all that stuff, that's not going to happen. And I stopped dealing with an artist a few years ago because I found out this artist was not the person that they had represented themselves to be to me. And if there's anybody here right now on this interview that is doing those kind of things and is that kind of person, it will catch up with you. What's done in the dark comes to the light. And when the light comes and I see it, hasta la vista, baby.
Shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But that just shows you the importance of staying clean and trying to get somewhere, because that stuff does come back to haunt you, and eventually it does catch up with you. If you notice, there's a lot of artists who aren't here today at a young age because they kind of took what they were doing, and it gets, when you get money, it gets even worse. And all money that sounds good and makes you popular and all these things, they ain't always happy. A lot of those people find, you gotta think, and I had a long thought about this, like, why would people get all that money and then ruin it? And one thing clicked: when you have everything in the world that you could ever want, the last thing that's left is all the dirty stuff. All the women, all the drugs, all the stuff you never tried before. So I thought, wow, when these people get this money, that's what they go to. They go to things that you can't buy. I mean, you have to buy them, but it's beyond money. And that's why I left the music industry, because I'm like, look, y'all doing too much. When you get there and get to that level where you seeing everything and seeing what people are doing, that's not what I want. So y'all got a good guy around you. Listen to him.
Yeah, man.
Because you don't want to get involved in that before you get there. It gets even worse when you get there and you got money. So having that clean record and doing what he said, man, is important.
I know some artists that can't travel abroad, like black music. Not only black in terms of the race, but in terms of what they call urban music. 67% of it sells in foreign countries. America is the lowest supporter of urban music. So in Europe and Australia and West Africa and Japan, they love urban music. I have some artists that some former artists at this point, that there was an interest in bringing them into Europe. Well, several of them were not capable of being able to get a passport because they owe child support. If you owe child support, you can't get a passport to travel outside of the United States.
Wow.
And traveling outside of the United States is not only going to Europe, Australia, Japan, or Africa, it's also going to Canada and going to Mexico, because now you have to have a passport based on your behavior.
If you owe child support, don't go get a passport, okay? You ain't gonna get it.
Or don't try.
Don't even try.
You're not gonna get it. Man, this is good stuff, man. I just love, I used to be in the music industry, so this kind of conversation and talking about the industry is important to me, because I look at people that are coming up that haven't really done, I'm not saying you guys haven't done anything yet, but when you get to certain levels and you kind of reach a peak where you feel like you've made it, and then you realize that it's not what you thought it was, it just blows all the gas out of you. So I'm going to say, stay true to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep good people around you. People that's on your side. Like, y'all got a team. This is a team. Y'all can go far with a team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just imagine, each one of y'all were probably an individual artist at one time, and you relied on yourself to do everything. And just imagine having a team of people where everybody is there to support you as a unit.
You're saying something so important. What I try to get all of them to understand is MECAP is a brand. It's not about any one artist. It's about the brand.
Absolutely.
Because if the umbrella of MECAP is well taken care of, then everybody will be protected from the rain, and everybody will be able to come to the table, and everybody will eat.
Yep.
This is why I tell everybody to tweet and retweet and promote everybody else on the label stuff, because it helps you. Because when people see Damon Carl has a hot record on MECAP, well, let me see what this Devon Trill record is going to sound like. If Kelsey Marie has a hot record on the charts and it's buzzing around, let me see what Facts It Is sounds like. But if you're all about yourself only, then it's not going to help anything, because people notice. And I had some former people that people noticed that they never supported anybody else on the label, but people on the label were supporting them. Trust me when I tell you that people see those kind of things. You better get my mic right. I'm going to turn into a diva on you.
Uh-oh.
You're going to make me sound bad up in here.
Well, give me a snicker.
Boy, I thought we were good, Ray.
No, it's the headphones.
Yeah.
The mics are good.
Yeah. Okay, but you know, I would like to bring Skip up here into this conversation. Maybe Dave Depp or somebody, let him come over there, because I like to use him as a flagship of MECAP. And not that anybody here assembled has to be like Skip, because everybody's their own person. But he's been grinding and doing this for a while. And he was grinding and doing this before I ever met him. I met him by chance. I was producing this R&B session on an R&B singer, and I wanted a hip-hop break on it. And there was a hot rapper in town at that particular time. I'm hearing that sound again. The gremlins are in my ear. And I was at the recording studio waiting for this rapper who had this hot little tune out here in Indianapolis that had created a little dance craze. And he didn't show up for the session. So Lucky Smith, shout out to Lucky, he came by the session and he said, "What are you waiting for?" I said, "I'm waiting on blank blank to come by." He said, "What's he gonna do?" I said, "I want him on this song." He said, "Oh, you need to get Skip on this song." I was like, "Who is Skip?" He said, "He's the hottest rapper here in town."
I heard that.
And I hadn't heard of Skip, so I was like, "Well, if Lucky said he's hot, I guess I'll give it a try." He said, "As a matter of fact, I had just met with him, and I had told him about you because I told him that I thought you'd be great to be his manager." And I was like, "Did I give you permission to do that? Who was this Skip guy?" So I think I called him on the phone first, and we had a conversation. And it went well. He was, you know, I was expecting like, "Yo, man, like, what it do," and all of that. But he didn't speak like that, you know. You know, he was not that kind of a guy. He kind of flowed well, and he seemed respectful, and he may have even said a few sirs or whatever. I'm like, this is a rapper? Okay. So let's bring him into the studio and see what he can do.
A few sirs.
He came in there, and he laced that track. And I was like, that was one of the times where a person didn't ask me, could they be down? I was like, "Do you want to be down?" Yes. And I said, "We're going to Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm taking a bunch of the other acts. Would you like to go to Charlotte and perform?" He said, "Sure." And I don't want to embarrass him, but he didn't have any luggage.
I didn't have anything at all.
Because he wasn't used to that kind of thing. And he came to get in the van when we went to Charlotte, and he had like, he had like, I guess like a green trash bag or something with his personal effects in it. And I was like, boy, he's humble and he doesn't have anything. And we went to Charlotte and he laced it and he made an impression. And then we soon after probably went to Atlanta somewhere, and this time he had some luggage because I gave him some. And he became like my nephew, and he's always been respectful. He always checks up on me when I had my serious life-threatening surgery in 2016. He kept checking on me, and he's a decent person for a rapper. You know, you don't expect that out of a rapper. He's not your typical rapper. And now he's branched into doing a lot of A&R things for me. He discovered Kelsey. He produced Dave Depp's record. He helped with Devon Trill's record. He produced He helped with Facts It Is record. And no, he's the producer. The producer that sits behind the controls and gives guidance. He doesn't make the tracks. We have a chief production guy that does the tracks called Rob Hitz out of Arizona, and he also did the fabulous DJ Prodigy record. So Skip is special, and this is why he's invited to headline at Crease Festival, and he headlined at for the Fans Festival in Muncie, and this is why people call me about him being on shows at the Vogue and other places like that, because he has planted that seed, and it has been nurtured and taken care of well, and the crop has grown well. And I don't say this to put him on the spot, and I don't say this to make all the other artists feel like they've got to be like Skip, but they need to look at what he does, because he knows how to work with social media. He's like around 7,000 Facebook musician fan likes. He's verified, you know, because he knows how to do that thing, and he knows how to make that connection. And not only does he know how to do the social media thing where he grows his base, but he's also darn good at his artistry. Cream sweet rises to the top. And he's the person that separates the wheat from the chaff, because he's definitely the wheat. So I just wanted to bring Skip up here because he's got 2 gigs coming up this week. Nice. Friday, he's at the Dreaming benefit concert with Damon Carl. And by the way, Damon Carl is headlining that
nice
gig.
combination right there.
Yes, and Skip is going to be on that show. And somebody that I'm fond of, I don't like his language, but Cairo the artist, that I think he's a dope artist, but you know, I like to wash his mouth out with soap, but that's what he does. You know, I mean, J. Cole, I like to wash his mouth out too, but you know, he's still bad. I have to give props where props are due. Not everybody does what we do here, and I have the ability to give props when you are bad at what you do. And you know, Cairo's bad at what he does, and Jermaine Cole is bad at what he does, so you know, I give the props up. But and then Saturday night, Skip is headlining at the Pioneer Club in Fountain Square for the Crease Festival. I always have trouble with Shreese. I have trouble with that word when you spell something CH. It's like peace with an H in it, and that's a weird word. But anyway, Live Nation is a partner for that festival this year, and it's got a lot of media attention. And I guess I'll make this announcement now. They picked 4 artists to feature in Nouveau magazine that are part of the festival, and Skip was one of the 4 that they picked.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
And that comes out tomorrow. They did a portrait of him. They did an interview, so that'll be coming out tomorrow. So here at MECAP, we're very proud of Skip. So there he is.
I mean, the first time I ever met him, he was doing the Tootsie Roll Man for about 10 minutes.
Oh, get out of here. You'll never catch me dancing.
There's something that I want to ask you, and I want all you to chime in on this. We have to put this to rest. Support. Artist support in Indianapolis. I have my own opinion on support. My opinion, I'll say my opinion first, but I feel like you should go hard for yourself, and be everywhere. Want to be involved with a lot of stuff. Put your money up. Put your money where your mouth is. Just you have to do a lot of stuff and take your artistry serious. Invest in yourself to get somewhere. But a lot of artists in this city who don't understand how to do that and what to do, they tend to say that there's no support in Indianapolis. And if you don't know what to do and you're an upcoming artist, you might feel like you're being hated on, or you know, you can't get to that level. So what are you all's thoughts on supporting Indianapolis and how you feel about the culture here in regards to this support that people say that is not here?
There's a ton of support in Indianapolis, for real. But it's a lot of things that play into that, to people feeling like that. For one, you got the way people present themselves on social media.
Okay.
And a lot of people are just not attracted to the way people act, which is very ignorant. And they post whatever, they say whatever, they disrespect whoever, and they wonder why nobody wants to listen to them, why nobody gives them the time of day.
Right.
Social media presence has a lot to do with it. If you ask some people why they don't support locals, they're gonna say because the locals they suck. And that's basically they saying that your image sucks. They don't even listen to your music. They looking at you.
Somebody on Facebook, I read this today. They said that an artist will spend more money on the video than on the mixing of the music.
Yeah, I saw that. So crazy. That's crazy. You right.
I was like, that's true.
It is true though.
You go hard for that video.
But like I said, it's a lot of things that play into people not getting the support that they want. They don't have patience. They don't invest in themselves. Right. It's a million things that I can name, man. But I feel like I got what I got just by remaining humble and staying consistent.
Right.
Because a big problem with a lot of people is they give up so quick. Like you'll see somebody rapping one day and the next day they done. They through with it. It's been, I think, 12 years straight for me.
Because it's passion. It's not something that you do like just because you've seen somebody else doing it. You really have a passion for it and do it from your heart and stay
you have a whole lot to
consistent.
say.
Yeah.
I
So
appreciate
you've been doing that with passion and taking it serious and staying consistent, and you've reached a level that a lot of people haven't reached yet.
Straight up, man. But like, it's support here, man. I really look at it. You
It's
can see
getting better.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's been good, bro. It's just like our city is just looked at so negatively that nobody wants to be a part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
But there are people who want to be a part of it, though. It's just like they just they're so particular about what they want to listen to and who they want to support. And like when you was talking about support, people supporting each other, I think a lot of people get emotional and they get personal with that kind of stuff because support can be anything. Like, it seems like people only focus on people sharing their music. Like, if you don't push share, then you in the way.
Right.
But I've listened to everybody. I listen to everybody. I put their music on my playlist on Google Play, all of it. But like, people will get offended, like, Skip don't post nobody, and I do that for certain reasons, contractual reasons and all that. But I won't post anybody's music on my page. But I will always listen to you. I'll download it. I'll support it. I know it word for word. When you do a show, I know it. That's support too. It ain't just one thing that is support. So that's a big problem we have around the city too, is people really take that personal when people don't share their links and stuff like that. They think that's the only way you can support them.
The main people complaining about that don't share nobody's stuff.
And the thing about it is, word of mouth is way better than a social media post.
That's right. That's a very good point that you made. I put something on Facebook one time, and I asked the music artist, "What's the last physical CD album that you purchased, or what's the last album that you downloaded?" And I heard crickets. But they have the audacity to want other people to buy their stuff, but they don't buy anything themselves. Where do they do that?
Hey, say that again.
I've got to do the dangling preposition here, this bad grammar. Where do they do that at? You know, it's like, are you serious?
What drives me crazy is when somebody says, "I only support people who support me." I hate that.
Just thinking about
I really hate that, because I feel like if you want to genuinely support somebody, you should genuinely support them. Like, why do you need their support? If you think their music is dope, then you enjoy their music. They shouldn't have to do anything for you.
There's not a week that goes by
So it drives me crazy.
unsolicited. I do not get people sending me stuff in my messenger inbox, their videos or a link to their SoundCloud or other forms for me to, they'll tell me share this or do this. That's what I support, and the other people that are out of town. I will not be sharing the links of any independent artists that are not mine. Now, if you're dope, like Cairo the artist, Brian Thompson, and a few other people that are not mine, I will make mention of you. I made top 10 lists and most promising lists of other people because I can be objective like that.
Sure.
But I'm here for this brand.
Right.
I'm not here for those other people, because if they wanted to be down, some of them couldn't be down because of their language, but that's not what we do. And another thing that was hit on by Skip, and I think one of you said it too, many artists don't invest in themselves. And nowadays, nobody's gonna, I'm not a banker, that's not my job to invest in you. I've helped everybody in one way or another, and there's certain things that I do for you, these guys, that they don't even know about. It's like, I may tell them that the cost of this e-blast is $150, but it may have really been $175, and I just put 25 with it and don't say anything about it, just to make sure it happens. I do that kind of stuff all the time to try to make sure that I'm protecting the brand so that nobody's stuff will die. And when I see some of them having slack and they're not making any posts on social media, then I'll go through, if they look at my timeline, they'll see that I'm posting about it. But the more you put in to anything that you do in life, the more you will get back out of it. And if you put nothing in, you get nothing back. But I see some of the things that people make a big deal about that they spend their money on, and I call it majoring in the minors. And I say, that same money that you spent on buying those new Air Jordans, or going to Kings Island, or doing things that cost a whole lot of money, how come you didn't pay for this e-blast over here? Or how come you didn't pay so that you could be a part of some of the radio interviews that we do? It's pay to play, but you get sent out to 3,000 DJs. That makes it worth it, because that means there are 3,000 people that will spin your record, and you have the potential to have an audience that will be able to like the record. But I look at you and I see what you're posting and what you're doing, and I say, you don't take this serious.
Right.
And I'm not going to take it more serious than you take it.
Yep.
And that's the honest to goodness truth, because just calling a spade a spade.
And that's with anything.
Yeah,
like if you
life.
don't show passion, if you're not passionate about your own stuff, why am I gonna be passionate about it?
Damon Carl called me
That's why I'm
about
gonna
2
waste my
weeks
time.
ago, and he said, he calls me Uncle Sid. He said, Uncle Sid, when my video is done, are there more promotions that I can pay for to do on my record? I said, yes. He gave me a date that he was going to drop a sack. I don't know, what's that word? It's not the right. What does that skip said in the song? A bag. He said, I want to run a bag up on you or whatever, you know. He's ready to drop a bag to do some more promotions. I said, wonderful. But Skip is the person that will go for broke in dropping bags.
Literally
Because he will
right
drop
now.
bags to get his stuff out there, because it's his passion.
Right.
And when I see that he has a passion like that, he doesn't know sometimes that I said, oh, guess I'll drop half a bag, you know,
There you
just
go.
to help him out.
Well,
but I don't just
absolutely.
tell him when he might say, you know, I got this tweet and they're tweeting my music out, and I just kind of snicker underneath my breath. I made that happen. And you know, I don't say anything about it.
Sure.
But you know, he deserves it, because I see the work that he puts in, totally the work that he puts in. And I'm hoping that tonight's interview will have the Ronald Reagan effect. It's called trickle down economics. I hope it will have trickle down, invest in yourself
Absolutely.
for all of the other artists, so that they can, so their brand will grow, because they've got some hot music. Trust me when I tell you, the stuff that we're coming with in September, as they say nowadays, is lit. It's totally lit. And if you want to be like Skip and get the attention that he gets, then you got to put some bags on it.
There you go. You have something in regards to conversation?
When it's talking about support, when it comes to Skip though, he just got it, man. I'm gonna be always real. And what I mean by support is, you gotta support the people that surround you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not one person on this roster that's not sitting by me right now or on the MECAP label that I don't listen to their music every day. I can tell you. I'm talking about to the point where I know every word. Singing, like, you feel me? I wish I was a little Damon Carl. I'm all in. You feel me? Like, to just to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the support comes from within.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I try to bring into our family. Like,
Right.
I try to show them, like, you know what I'm saying?
Real culture.
You'll never see a lot of us at one show by ourselves
Right.
on the label,
That's good.
especially in Indianapolis. Like, if we got somebody got a show here, you'll always see, you feel me? It's always somebody, unless somebody got to work or, you know, that's life events. But outside of that, if nobody ain't got nothing to do, if not one, everybody's probably trying to show up.
Right.
And that's the best thing about it. It's more of a family, and when you get that family involved of support, everything else will start flowing. But you gotta support from within. You gotta understand and knock down them doors of your family first and get them to where you need to get. So, like, you know, that's back to what Uncle James was saying. Like, he want everybody to have a trickle effect. Like, I ain't afraid to say it. You know what I'm saying? All these guys that had an effect on me, something decent.
Right.
You know, whether it's Devon Trill Swag, you know what I'm saying, or Damon Carl Smile. I just can't get, I can't get over that the man just smile all the time, and I'm used to looking like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it ain't 12, little raspy voice gives me hype. You know what I'm saying? His little hand movements, like little things like that. That makes the support so real, because you'll be able to imitate it. When I don't just promote myself, I promote everybody else on my label.
Yeah.
Now that he does, I'll have to give him credit for
That's
that.
real.
Now that he does do. Yeah, he definitely does that, and he also was a big supporter when we came back from St. Louis. I let every lit. It was rocking. So
Yeah, everything had to get played twice.
we know that Devon Trill, Dave Def, and who else did we play?
I wasn't there.
Blondie.
Divine, Dave, Def, Namaj.
Yeah, we played those, and those were all banging. Now we have Chelsea's record is in the mixing stage right now, and so is DJ Prodigy's. So only few ears have heard roughs of it. We heard it in the studio when she did it, and the session on her was fabulous. But I hope I live to see the day when her record comes out. I want to hear her back sing along with it. That's a sound I want to hear, him singing that song.
Absolutely. Ebony, did you have something? I know you had a question.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It'll come
remember,
back
I
to
got
me.
creating, right? Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Whatever that's around me, whatever's going on in my, that's how I came up with that song. So if I don't have any inspiration, and on top of that, I got like in my phone I have a list full of concepts that I may just write down. Like let's say I just go down my list like let's pick this one. So that's if I ain't picking something that's going on right now, I'm usually going down that list.
He also gleans a lot of his stuff. Since I'm old school, I have a lot of expressions that I say. Sometimes when we're talking, you say, "Uncle, what'd you say? Say that again." And I already know. I need to send you an invoice for some points.
Yeah, on bottled water, I said, everybody thinks they're a rapper, but what sets you apart? And that was something that stuck with me from what he was saying to me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let me go back to BMI. I think I need to get my 10%.
I ain't making no money.
For me, it's like Skip said, I'm drawing inspiration from everything around me, everything that's going on. I mean, watching TV, I might be watching a movie, and that same scenario will happen. Be like, "Oh man, you hear what Denzel just said? Oh man, I gotta write something like that," you know. And I mean, it's just the things that's around me that's influencing everything that's going on. So.
Let's talk about Damon Carl here. I've had a couple of people that have reached out to me that want to turn him into something other than what he is. And Damon,
Get specific.
Damon, I don't mean Bruce Jenner type term. I was talking about music. I heard the little sly remark over here. Let's get specific. Damon plays acoustic guitar and sings, so that's what we call a troubadour in the music business. So everything that we do on Damon, his artistry will remain intact, where he's playing the acoustic guitar and he sings. But I've had some people that do trap music type R&B and stuff like that. So he got like a dope voice. Let me put him on a trap track or something like that. Well, no, he's going to do things that are pure to what he does. Now, for singing on Devon's tune and singing on DJ Prodigy's tune, are those the only two so far? Who?
He sang on mine.
Oh, and well, you did backgrounds on Kelsey, but the only songs that he's been on as people on the label, I doubt very seriously we'll ferret him out to other people because he has a unique sound and we want to keep it in house, unless somebody's tucking some nice bags, or what y'all call bags here. Then, you know, we might do it. But Babyface's musical director was so impressed with Damon's first single, Colors of the World, that he came backstage on the show that Damon played on for Babyface in Louisville, and he was showing him some things on the guitar. And what I was impressed with was the next time I heard Damon play the guitar, I heard him do some of those little arpeggios and fills that Michael had taught him. So it goes to show you that connections and relationships are important, because when he first met Damon and Damon first took his picture with Babyface, Michael, who's Babyface's guitar player and musical director, he said, "Send me Damon's song."
Nice.
Babyface told me, "Send me Damon's song."
Nice.
So, you know, it shows. So, Damon, you have something
That's
you want to
awesome,
say
man.
for yourself over there?
Yeah.
Besides
Grab the
having
mic,
your
grab the
cell
mic.
phone on?
So you opened up for Babyface,
Most definitely.
and tell us about that experience.
It was like a dream come true because you know, I've always like, one day I'm gonna open for him, and I just spoke it into existence, and you know, I just kind of thought about it, and I focused really hard about, you know, what I wanted to do and how I wanted to, you know, make an impact on people that, you know, I sing with, and you know, people like Babyface, you know, Heat Wave, you know, those inspirations that I follow, you know, like Jeff Beck and people like that. You know, I follow those type of big legends, inspirations, and you know, they made a big impact on me because, you know, once we make one connection, you know, you always want to take something from a connection that you make from somebody. Like
Right.
today, I can take, you know, a whole lot from the
For sure.
conversation that we had
Yeah.
today.
Absolutely.
And you know, I remember that, and you know, I make sure it sticks in my brain. I never let it go.
Right.
So you know, inspirations like that. I follow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you?
Repeat the question, I'm sorry.
Like, what inspires you when you create?
Well, I mean, definitely just real life experiences. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I want that to kind of showcase in my songs. It's very important for me to just show who I am. Like I said before, like people look at me and they get a certain idea just out the gate. And I like to kind of squash that and change their interpretation completely. And I think that my single will definitely do that. You know, originally getting it and it was a great song. Originally they had a chorus idea for it, but it was about, you know, a relationship, and not that, you know, I don't want to talk about relationships because I think that's important, but I want to talk about what's really going on in this world, what we really need to, you know, really discuss those real things that really need to be, you know, overlooked, or, you know, we need to look over them and see what we can change and that kind of stuff. So to me, it's really just about life in general. That's where I get my inspiration, and you know, I've been through a lot of different things, and I want that to all tie into the music. So yeah.
I have a question for Kelsey. Do you think right now the harvest is right for girls or women breaking into the industry?
That's a
Like
good
Ray had
question.
talked about her, and like it's just I guess it's fertile right now for girls and women to come in and not have to worry about sexuality.
Yeah.
And,
I love that question.
So what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a really good time for that. I think that we're seeing women now just kind of stand up for who we really are, what we deserve. You know, one of the things that's so important to me is, you know, just equality in general, whether that's between races, whether that's between genders, whether that's between social class, whatever that is, equality is so important. And right now we're realizing that, you know, women have really been stifled in a lot of ways. Well, if we have their full capacity as well as men's full capacity, we'll reach new heights that we've never reached before. But women have often been stifled, but now is our time, and we're really kind of putting those shoes on, so to speak. We're really we're doing what we need to do. We're asking for equal pay. We're asking for equal opportunity. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize, especially men, and it's not their fault, but they don't realize that we walk down the street every day nervous that somebody's gonna, you know, touch us or say something disrespectful to us, and that's not a way to live. You know, we shouldn't have to do that. And so I think now women are really kind of coming up and saying, no more of this. This is how we deserve to be treated. And we still got a long way to go. And it's not about bashing men at all, because like I said, we need both. We absolutely need both. But yeah, I would definitely say this is the time.
So
that was a real good
artist,
question, because I think that Aretha Franklin's passing, a lot of people are gaining a lot of history about her impact that they didn't realize. They just knew about the hit songs, but they don't realize that she was the first female that broke down the barriers for females, be black or white, in the music business. And now that this is like on the news cycle 24/7 and people are realizing it, I think her passing is going to help what Kelsey is saying, that women are like, hey, wait a minute, hold on a second. You know, we do deserve our RESPECT. And because I don't think a lot of people realize that women don't make the same pay in America for the same job done that a man does. And the Republicans, for whatever reason, are opposed to the Equal Pay Act. You know, it just makes no sense. I don't understand how the women that are married to the Republican legislatures can be in the house with a husband that has them so brainwashed to think that they deserve less. And women deserve, there should be no difference between anybody because of your race, your gender, your sexuality, your height, your weight, or any of that. The world should just be on an even playing field for everybody. And I think that that's part of what Kelsey is saying in her song, and that's why she's just throwing, like, I just can't. And that's what Dave is definitely saying in his song, which is called Human Race.
I wanted to ask Dave more about that too. Can you tell us some more about that?
Sure.
About that track? And just your work period.
Okay. Let's go, Dave. Let's talk about Oreo.
Okay, so the particular track that we're talking about is just kind of it touches a little bit on how we are kind of pitted against each other. I think at least somewhat intentionally to maintain the status quo for people who are in control currently. Basically, is the way that I look at it. I mean, as far as my work, I just try to express myself, and really, I mean, creatively, what I want to do is just get the message out there that, I mean, everybody feels pain, everybody knows struggle, everybody's been through stuff. Like, I try to always incorporate things in my music that are relatable across the whole spectrum of human existence in general.
You have an interesting title to your project.
Yeah,
that's coming out. Can you give us more on that?
it's kind of like it's kind of like a play on words. So like I'm talking about the human race, and I'm also talking about how we're pitted against each other in like this competition, like it's a race, like where it's the human race, like we're running. You know what I mean? Like trying to get ahead of each other, and so
it's a bigger picture. Is there a finish line though?
I mean, I don't think it's a real race, me personally. Okay. I think it's just we're all running, you know what I mean, to the finish. I think it's a marathon, it's not a race.
Are you receiving any kind of criticism for your work?
I mean, not really, not yet.
That's good, more support.
Yeah, it's still
You heard that first record
on the docket.
Yeah.
To be released, but
Us track.
Us?
Can't wait to hear it.
I can't wait to hear all your music.
Yeah.
It's just like when you heard Dave on the track, you know it's Dave.
Right.
You like I literally I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was black. First trip I went out of town with him, I thought he was black. I pulled up the skip, I was like, "What's 12 at?" "We're Dave." He out came out the house and said,
"Who's the real estate agent standing out front?"
I'm like, "That can't be Dave." You know what I'm saying? I get to just rapping this whole verse to him like, "That's you?" And he's like, you know what I'm saying? But his confidence is amazing, man.
Yeah, that's dope.
See, that's the beauty of music, and that's why music is one language when you think about it.
Yeah,
music can go far no matter who's on it or what you do. That's why I like her as an artist, because she didn't have to do all these things that other people do to, you know, I don't know her full background or how she got there. I know that she started as a young artist and she kind of stayed in the background until she developed herself. And then she became this artist, and she comes out with shades on, with long hair, and you really don't know who it is. It makes you anticipate, who is this person? It just made me say, man, I want to go see her in concert. And I think that's the vibe that you want to give people, is that anticipation for what's coming. Don't share all your stuff all the time. Give them little pieces of it. You know, don't give them all pieces of your life. The anticipation to want to know more, you know, give them, when people listen to music, it makes them, y'all know, when you listen to an album, it's so long and so much, and you're like, who is this person, man? Let me go and find their page. Let me like their page. Let me become a fan. Let me buy their music, and that's just how it works.
Can I speak on that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to say music, for me, is really hard not to be that artist that can't put, you know, not say it can't, but I was always so used to putting out music. Right. You know, I have to think in a business sense.
Absolutely.
It's not supposed to be like that.
Right.
You know, it's supposed to, you know, that's like the hardest thing. Yeah.
See, it's your intellectual property, and some people don't realize that music, like his single, it's seriously hot. I personally endorse the Devon Trill record, Misunderstood. It is very hot. And you probably look at him.
He demands attention.
Exactly. So
look at this video. Well, who's the guy with the blonde?
Right. So basically, you're already laying something out there. So now people need to hear, okay, what's this blonde about here? He's sitting up there looking. And so I think that what he said and I've had to really work with him about just putting stuff out there, and it doesn't go like that. When you become a whore with your music rather than a prostitute.
Hey, why he touched exactly what I was about to touch on.
When you are a whore with your music,
real talk,
rather than a prostitute, you already know that whores have no respect. They might have that good that people like, but everybody's had it, and anybody can get it. But a prostitute, if you don't have a bag, you're not getting that good. So I want everybody on my label.
Be prostitutes.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, and it's so crazy. It's so crazy because Unc say that, and he's really serious. You know what I'm saying? This is not no shade to nobody in Indianapolis that does music, but you have to be on the time schedule. Like I literally just talked to him about time scheduling. You know what I'm saying? That is very legit.
Yeah.
It's very legit. So dropping songs every day, like I'm one of those people. I'll be itching, like I'm ready to drop something.
Right.
But the anticipation, like you said, that is something I hope whoever watching this like take that in. You know what I'm saying? Like playing your year out.
Yeah.
Playing your next couple years. Plan just do something.
And finishing my point.
Yeah, he always trying to do me like this.
No, it has nothing to do with you. I just wasn't quite finished. You will learn. It may be 10 years, excuse me, from now, but you will learn. When it oversaturates people and they become not interested in you, because your yesteryear that used to be hidden, the reason they fell off is because people became tired of them. There was a period of time where people became tired of Beyonce, and that's real talk, and she had to take that break. There was a time period, I remember, when Boys to Men were banging, and people became tired of them. You?
Right.
And then they want to anticipate hearing your next thing.
Absolutely.
Because what is the point of continuously dropping music right to the people in general? So you keep on putting stuff out there, it's like, and you're doing nothing different than everybody else that's on my timeline. So what's gonna, like when I had that conversation with Skip when he made Bottled Water, which you didn't give me credit for, but I said, what sets you apart from other rappers? And he used that line in the song. Because KB the Monster has a tune, his single prior to this one is called Spread. And I said to him in the conversation, sticks like snow and spreads like butter. I don't even know why I said that. And he said, would you say that again? I said, sticks like snow and spreads like butter. Next thing I know, he made a song called Spread, and it was in the hook. You can give me credit either, but anyway. I mean, you know, I'm going to stop talking to these people. But what I need everybody to understand quality of what you put out. Because number one, what's the hurry?
Right.
Okay, like some of these people, their singles haven't even come out yet, and they're already talking about they want to do, And some of your singles are not old until they get old, because if you haven't properly promoted your single to some of the people in this room, you keep paying your promotions budget so that more and more DJ coalitions and record pools have your record, so it gets to thousands and thousands and thousands more of people. It may be old and tired to you, but to someone else, they never heard it before. So you've got to remember the creative side of the music business works much faster than the business side of the music business, and you just got to do it right. I ask people all the time, do you belong to a performing rights society? They look at me like I'm crazy, like, what is a performing rights society? Has your song been encoded? What does that mean? Well, you'll never, ever, ever, ever know what an E-blast is. Is that a spark plug in your engine? No. So, oh man, but you know, they like me on Reverb Nation. Yeah, because you paid for that promotion. Man, they like me on SoundCloud. You're a whore. You gave away your music. You know, I disassembled the MECAP SoundCloud page because I don't want people getting it that way. Some people say, well, that's the only way the people can get it. Well, I tell you what, right now, based on the amount of subscribers that there are on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, etc., and even Tidal, obviously somebody is doing paid subscriptions. So if people can't afford to pay for streaming, which is minuscule, I think the streaming thing is $9.99 a month for some of them or something like that. If somebody's not willing to say they support you and willing to be a paid subscriber, they don't deserve to have your music for free. Absolutely. Because it costs you to make it. Not unless you feel like being a reverse Robin Hood, which would be insane, When you're sitting up with your broke, you know what, while you gave everything you had to this, but you're giving away your stuff for free, then you're a stupid whore. That's what I'm going to call you.
Whore words.
Because this stuff is not free. Electricity costs money. Your internet costs money. Your cell phone bill costs money. And if somebody cares enough about your music, you can hear a snippet when you go to, and I tell you what, you can go to YouTube and hear it all.
I was just about to say that.
You know, so why put it on SoundCloud?
Yeah.
I just, you know, I just can't. I just can't. I'm sorry, Kelsey.
That's good, but that, I mean, you bring, and we're going to close out here in a second, but you bring up a lot of valid points, and this is the reason why people put out singles before they put out albums. You have to get a single hot. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays, because of streaming, you can have, you know, you got people like Chris Brown dropping, for you on that level, you can do it like that, but starting out, singles is everything. You can push that single for 3 years before. Some singles do take 3 years to get hot.
Exactly.
You know, so there is no rush.
And nobody cares about an album anymore.
Push the heck out of that. 10,000 people versus millions of people that ain't heard it yet. What you gonna get mad because 10 people heard it or 10,000 people? You think everybody done heard it after 10,000 people? No. You got to get that thing fired up. And if it take 3 to 4 years, push it for 3 to 4 years. Because a lot of artists, even in the industry today, even if, y'all don't even know, she's been sitting on her music for 6, 7 years, you know, before she actually put it out. But developing yourself, your skill, your sound is important. You'll be amazed. By the time your single do get hot, you'd have been did a bunch of shows, got a lot of practice in and developed yourself as an artist. You found your sound now. So just trust the process.
That's been a bad, but let me tell you a real quick story. The other day I had a MECAP board meeting with my team, and Tommy Henderson, who's a part of the MECAP board, used to be an A&R at LaFace, and he was a personal assistant to Babyface. And he was asked a question by one of the cats on the board. He said, when you were at LaFace, how many people were signed on the label and their stuff never came out?
Oh, wow.
In other words, they got a major label record deal. Tommy said, off the top of my head, I can think of about 40 people that signed the recording contract. They had the artwork, the album cover, some of them even did a video. It was never released. And so I say to people that always want to get a major label record deal, they give you a recording contract. That's all it says. There's nothing that says they're going to promote it. There's nothing that says they have to give you a music video. There's nothing that says they have to give you tour support. It is a recording contract only. And they have the power at any time they want to drop you.
That's just so you can't work with nobody else.
Exactly. So for those people, and also, let's just say today, let's just take Kelsey, for example. If in 2 weeks she were to get a major label record deal, that record may not come out for 2 years from now. Because when they sign people, they do not immediately release your record. You're put into the production schedule, and they've already got thousands of other people that are ahead of you. So I know a lot of people that have signed major label recording contracts, and they were so frustrated because they were thinking, okay, I got signed, my record's getting ready to come out. Sometimes they ask to be let out of the contract because of the frustration, because it never came out. So it's not everything that it's made out to be. A lot of people would turn down a major label record deal in order to stay independent, because you get to control your output.
Absolutely.
Babyface told me he's working in the studio. I just talked to him yesterday, and he's working on new material for his next album. He said he's most likely going to drop 3 singles before he even thinks about the album coming out.
Absolutely.
And this is a major superstar. So that's what I have to
Just trust
say.
the process. I want to thank y'all for coming out to the great area. All of y'all are going to be superstars. You know, y'all trust the process. Continue. The amazing thing you can do is to just continue being a group that supports each other. And y'all are going to go further than you could ever imagine. And if y'all ever need our support, y'all just let us know. This is what this platform is for people who may not be heard or be new to the world, to come on and say, hey, this is me, this is what I got, and this is what I do. So we appreciate the community with us. I'm interested in hearing about what you're doing
Yeah,
with
man.
Community Get with Ebony after this, because we may use you for a show later on.
Yeah.
We're working with the youth. We are very determined to try and get. That's what it's all about.
That's
We
what
have to
it's about.
change the narrative. The narrative
Absolutely.
that they got displayed for us out there is not what it appears to be. You know, but if you keep listening to other news outlets and not looking at, you know, shows like this where we're showing people that are doing great things in the community, great things for themselves and trying to blow up. So we got y'all back, and we just thank y'all for coming out.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
We
You wanna
appreciate
close?
it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
And I always like to encourage our audience to, you know, to use this interview with all of you guys, as especially for artists that are listening. I saw a lot of artists tune in. Some people that I don't even know, and I think a lot of that can actually, this conversation can help those artists. You know, but just because I don't know them don't mean that that they not major, because I don't listen to a whole bunch of stuff anyway, but talk show stuff. But for the people that are in the music business, to people that are avid listeners, you know, of music, this is an awesome interview, because rarely do you actually hear from the artist from the ground up. You know, we hear a lot of artists that are at the top, so to speak. You know, artists need to hear from the artists that are from the ground up, that are actually in the process of being molded and shaped into an artist. That artist development, they need to hear that, because we touch on a lot of good stuff. And one of the major things that we touched on that you guys talked about was, and Uncle Sid talked about, was the fact that, and I even quoted, I pushed it back out, the oversaturation. I see that a lot, you know, single after single after single. That's something I never knew. I always wonder why it happened. There's a lot of artists in the city that do that, you know, and I think that's valuable information. Artists, listen to a lot of people were saying OG Uncle Jams. Listen to your elders that have been in this business forever.
What's their names? What's their numbers and address?
It's all in the comments. All in the comments, so you can get them. And then I was going to ask the question about, should artists now, not to kind of, you know, prolong the conversation, but it seems like artists now should be getting their blueprint, getting their notes from your artists that have been around in the music business, like your baby faces. Looking at Aretha Franklin's life and her legacy, and, you know, reaching far back, not Migos, you know, not Nicki, you know, looking far back, because those are the ones who have actually withstood over all these years. You know, you got young people that know about Aretha Franklin that weren't even born yet.
Right.
So, you know, your Migos it's going to be 10,000 Migos, but there's only one Aretha.
Straight up.
You know, so I just again thank you guys for coming out, sharing. You know, I think it takes vulnerability to come out and say, I'm not even there yet. You know, this is what I'm doing. Support me. You know, I think that's major, and I appreciate you guys being so humble.
It's part of the process.
Being
Yeah,
humble.
part of the process.
That's
Appreciate
the
you as
major
well.
thing, is being
Yeah, man,
humble.
appreciate y'all, man.
And
Appreciate
being
it.
willing to be groomed and grown into awesome artists.
Yeah.
Much
So
love.
support them, Indianapolis.
Yep.
Go to our website, which is www.MECAP, MECAP, music, regular spelling, and entertainment.com. Everybody here has social media. We also have a MECAP Music and Entertainment Facebook page. I encourage you to like it. I do consulting. I will even consult a ratchet rapper to tell them how to get their business correct.
It's
And,
important.
you know, the business of the music business is way more important than the creative process. Because if somebody hears your song one day, it may make it to a TV show or a documentary or to a movie, and then you get paid that way. Because I'm going to be doing a soundtrack soon for a movie, and I'm going to be scouring over music that we can include in the soundtrack. Skip is already on board to do something. I'm going to be using a lot of the artists on the MECAP label to get this motion picture soundtrack out there. So know that there are other avenues besides of just being a rapper or a singer. You know, you might have a talent in dancing or modeling or acting or being a videographer or being a person behind the camera, because all of those things that I just named to you actually do make money. But the part of the business that makes the least amount of money is being a music artist, because recorded music is not selling right now. So if you're trying to make your life be sufficient off of just being a music artist, it's not going to work.
Multiple streams.
Thank you.
Lamont, can you come in here?
Shout out to the gray
Lamar
area
Austin.
media too, man. Make
Open
sure
that
you
door. I
support
think
the
he
gray
got
area.
it.
Great, appreciate that, little bro.
Straight up.
Like him on
Yeah,
Facebook.
much love.
Make sure y'all make sure somebody gets something about that shout out, man. That's my favorite.
A lot of you all know.
Lamont say he don't want to come
No,
here.
no, come on, Lamont. Come on.
He should
Come on,
not.
man.
He
Hey,
should
Lamont
not.
is the top
Yeah,
supporter
come
in
on.
the
The number one
Yeah,
supporter.
Lamont is definitely.
supporter in the
Look,
top
what?
list.
Number one supporter.
If y'all don't know Lamont
Black,
Austin,
black.
y'all missing out. This dude, you can see he doesn't want any limelight or anything. We was just trying to pull him in, but we want y'all to understand something about support. That man supports everybody in this city. He doesn't even have to know you.
Hands down.
He will come to your show. He will take pictures, video, and support you.
He will
on
truly
his
take a
page,
picture.
and
You
he
should
will-
see the picture. He's got a picture with everybody.
And I just want people to know that that's the standard nowadays. Because if you're not providing that kind of support for other people, you can't expect people to support you. You got to be out there really supporting people, and trust me, it's going to come back to you. So I just want to say a personal shout out to Lamont Austin. Everybody
Shout
in this
out
room know
Lamont.
Yeah,
Lamont.
Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Can everybody shout out their Twitter real quick?
Yeah. Y'all can shout out your Twitter
Your
real quick,
Twitter,
and I'm gonna
Kelsey.
close.
Oh, Twitter, Kelsey Marie _317. That's KELSIMARIE _317.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Devon Trill. Follow me on Instagram at Devon Trill _music and on Twitter at the real Devon Trill. Thank you.
Yo, what's happening? It's 12. You can find me anywhere at 12317. That's 12_317 at 12317, or just 12317. You can find me. You got to spell it all the way out though. It's EWELVE.
Follow me at SKYPP317, Facebook fan page SKYPP, and officialskip.com.
How y'all doing, everybody? You can follow me on you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Damon Carl with a K. You can't forget about the K. Yeah, let's connect.
Hey, you know you have
Tattoos
tattoos,
R&B for you right
Always
now.
started up.
Let's connect. Hey everybody, Dave Deft on all social media outlets.
Boy, you was
He's in that case, man.
Facts, your turn.
I'm trying to get it together.
That
Hey,
would be
y'all
a
can follow
miracle.
me on y'all can follow me on any social media, man. Facts it is, it's FACTZITIZ. You did.
My man Damon Macon back here, man. He's been quiet. He's
He's
really
back.
the muscle of the team, and I just don't see it. And man, we got to bring you back on so you can have a conversation with us about some things in regards to just not only music but community and some other stuff. But man, Uncle Zams has spoken about how important you are to the team, man. And so I just want to say,
Very.
hey, man, keep doing what you're
Quiet
doing, man.
storm.
Keeping them in line. You know what it takes for them to get far and get where they go. So,
Just don't use his GPS.
But I just want to say thanks to the viewers for always tuning in and supporting the gray area. We appreciate y'all. We have a very important show next week. Is Prosecutor Curry coming on?
I was just about
You
to
mentioned
say.
something about child support.
I
We
know,
got
I was just about
Prosecutor
to say,
Curry coming on next week to talk to us about child support and a lot of things that people don't know. So all the baby mamas and baby daddies need to be tuning in to that
And
show.
artists that can't
next week.
fly out of the country.
Artists that
Tune
can
in.
fly to- I'm going to add that next week.
Yes.
But thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.
My Twitter is at Uncle Jams, UNCLEJAMZ.
All right.
There it is.
Peace.
That was a good show, man. Good dialogue. Yes, and a lot of people was tuning in.
Split, man. Real quick.
Yeah, let's take a picture real quick. We all got to work in the morning.
Turn.